Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Thursday. We got a little time on our hands. I thought it would be fun to do a YouTube video for the beloved Noel Comics YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about a channel that is near and dear to me, G4. And it's, what's being talked about it today. So, anywho, mentioned this a little bit on one of my past live streams, and before I go and get the kids, I thought it would be fun just to kind of do a quick 10-minute video yakking about the goings-on. Anywho, a little bit of a backstory. Me and G4, we go back quite a ways. In fact, I have a burned disc with some G4 regular show and a music station on it, and Boy Meets World. So this is my legitimacy card right here. Anywho, that disc isn't playing that great though. Sadly. Anyway, so quick fact about me, I used to like to watch G4 at my friend's house because I didn't have digital cable, and G4 was a digital cable channel. So I have very fond memories watching Olivia Munn and the gang talk about video games and watch things like Code Monkeys and Attack of the Show. Just a very comforting, relaxing, nerdy guy space where you could watch, pretty girls talk about video games, and it was just very nice, very nice. And relaxing. It just, it was just a really, really hit. Oh, look, you got Olivia Munn, and here's the Jim Lee Wonder Woman. That all kind of goes very well together. Anyway, so I like G4 quite a bit for various reasons that I just kind of outlined right there. Relaxing, nerdy male space, and warm memories of me and my friends in the early aughts to early 2010s. Through that time frame. That was really the sweet spot of G4 in my memory. Anyway, I think G4 went under because of the demographic desires of their corporate masters. I think they wanted to kind of move G4 toward a more kind of Maxim magazine style direction. Wanted it to be kind of like the guy channel, but not necessarily the nerdy guy channel, and it kind of rebranded itself into Esquire. And you could see it come in, they started kind of crapping on the games that, more nerdy guys liked, like Final Fantasy, and started, raving about Halo and Madden and what they thought that college dudes wanted to play. And then eventually they just ditched the video game thing altogether and just started showing, reruns of Miami Vice, which I loved, and Cops, which I could kind of take or leave. But anyway, so that was the end of G4. Well, fast forward to today, where the culture du jour is like esports. You know what I'm saying? However, and I wasn't really up on the whole like Gamergate thing. I've had friends of mine describe it to me. I just didn't give a crap. I wasn't paying attention to it. I was just in my game room, having fun, living my life. But apparently, the things like the male gaze and just the male space were attacked as misogynistic and toxic by a bunch of, urbane, pseudo-intellectual wannabe journalists and so on and so forth. And that really had an effect on the culture of like gaming media. So they wanted to bring G4 back, but the culture had shifted, and now all of a sudden having pretty girls like Olivia Munn, that's not okay. You can't do that anymore. So you have to have, things that are about like female empowerment and repulsing the male gaze. And and if anyone wants to tell me to go read some feminist literature, I have a stack of books in the other room because I have a minor in women's history. Let me just go grab some for you right here. I've definitely got books about like women's history and stuff like this. I don't necessarily recommend them actually, but The Lost Sisterhood, that's actually kind of an okay book. But anyway, I've read more than I care to read about feminist literature, but that seems to be kind of like the cool ideology that's kind of acceptable with the whole identity politics trend. Anyway, so Olivia Munn. They decided to replace the Olivia Munn spot on the rebooted G4 with this girl named Frosk, who kind of looks like a young Ellen DeGeneres with neck tattoos. And they really kind of set her up for failure because people like me who are kind of tuning into G4 to see like male comedy and a comforting pretty face talk about like video games and whatnot, are now treated to someone who looks very different and is either indifferent to hostile to the culture that we once enjoyed. So I'm not sure. I didn't see this, but apparently the current host Frosk had been getting some kind of not so nice comments and like YouTube videos featuring her on the new G4 on YouTube, and apparently she caught some heat because she went on some, completely inaccurate rant about how like Hogwarts Legacy was a PlayStation killer because it was an Xbox exclusive, and that's just completely ridiculous to anyone. Like, first of all, the idea of like Hogwarts Legacy being a PlayStation killer is hilarious. Like, I don't even know what Hogwarts Legacy is. Like what? And it's not even. I don't know. She was like raving about like, oh, I love my Xbox Game Pass with Hogwarts Legacy and Forza. Like that's apparently like the games that if she's like really into those games, more power to you. Anyway, but everyone's like, what the hell is she talking about? This is ridiculous. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So then, like the next time she was on air on some live stream, she went on some angry feminist rant about, how she wasn't there to be eye candy, and neither was Olivia Munn, and how toxic and angry the male, gamers were, and that she was being treated unfairly. And it was kind of like, it was just kind of like a little jarring, I think, for the viewers of old G4 who were just kind of going to, watch and relax, and then were treated to an angry feminist rant, which, there, it is what it is. Telling, my wife and others, it'd be kind of like if you used to watch a channel where Jason Momoa, let's say you watch like Lifetime, and there was a show on Lifetime where Jason Momoa read feminist literature, and then that show eventually got canceled, and a few years later, they brought the show back, but instead of Jason Momoa reading feminist literature, it was Alex Jones angrily screaming about things. That's kind of the mindset that the people that were a little off put on this whole thing are, I think we're kind of in. But then anywho, then like drama commentary YouTube decided to chime in because, there's a fine line between being the voice of the voiceless and being a amoral parasite. And I think a lot of these people, like, they embolden the stuff that they complain about so they can have more content. It's like they really don't want to solve the problems. They just want to complain about the problems, perpetuate the problems, and profit off the problems that they, complain about, which I find to be very disingenuous and annoying. And Frosk, this girl who decided to go on this angry feminist rant, has decided to just double down and keep feeding the nonsense. And I'm just kind of sitting there like Michael Jackson in that meme, like eating the popcorn. So it's a really interesting tire fire to watch as someone who grew up in my early to mid-20s enjoying G4 and all the fun that had. So what's my solution to this? Well, if you can get Olivia Munn back, get her back. Although I'm sure she's having fun with her new John Mulaney baby, so that's good. Anywho, but yeah, I would... definitely, you need to, I think, have a broader audience and move away from having G4 be the woke pseudo journalist, channel that just happens to talk about video games, and bring back some of the warmth and male space. Not like a mean male space, but just like, it's like I don't go to the romance novel section at a drugstore or something and start screaming about like unrealistic expectations because I don't look like Fabio. I mean, I do look like Fabio, but if I didn't look like Fabio, I wouldn't be complaining about it, Anyway, but I digress. So one more thing I should add. If G4, this new G4, wants to do well by itself, it needs to get on Pluto TV or something like that. Because I saw that IGN was on Pluto TV. They're on like Twitch and YouTube, which are free. So what they really need to do to recapture that old cable TV video game channel format, they need to get on a format that's like television again, and that's easy and accessible for the 2020s. So there's just my thoughts on some of this stuff. Apparently Frosk has, issued an open challenge to like these like angry YouTubers to talk to them, and she gave them a false email, which is really dumb. So yeah, apparently it's very kind of reflective of American politics, where you have like people that are bad for different reasons doubling down and feeding each other's nonsense. So I don't know. And to the drama YouTubers out there, I do think that they do good work sometimes bringing up things that, the alienated nerd masses find important. But at the same time, I think there's a parasitic, hypocritical quality about them that they need to not engage in. For example, that Geeks and Gamers guys was like screaming about like beta males and people like that at like Consequences Creed, who was like going out with Paige, I'm sorry, like you weren't going out with WWE diva Paige, okay? And you're calling the guy that did a beta male. I mean, you know what I say? When you got like one finger pointing at someone, you got four pointing back at you. So take care of the beam in your own eye before you point out the speck in someone else's. That's what Jesus would do. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign off right now and watch some more G4 reruns right here and go pick up my kids. And until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care, and I will see you in the very near future for more video game reviews, commentary, and live streaming fun and art fun. Bye-bye.